My husband has been cheating on me with my best friend for months while I'm pregnant and caring for my dying dad. I found out through text and now I'm figuring out what to do next. My husband and I have been together since I was 19 and he was 22. We've been married for 6 years now. We have 2 kids, and I'm currently 6 months pregnant with our third. 2 years ago, I found out that my dad has stage 3 colon cancer. My dad is my only parent, as my mom passed away when I was 12. He's my favorite person, and life without him doesn't seem as colorful. His laugh is contagious, and he gives these big bear hugs that make all the broken pieces inside feel like they're perfectly in place again. Whenever I've had a hard day, he never pushes or prods, he just lets me vent and listens. About 5 months ago we discovered that the treatments weren't working, and the doctor told us that we were looking at months, not years. Since then, my dad's condition has gotten progressively worse, and now he's starting to lose his memory. He even looked at the dog he got for me on my 21st birthday and said, "Wow, that's a nice dog. Where'd you get it?" My husband has been my absolute rock through all of this. He's been there, holding my hand and helping me through it. He's been loving and attentive to both the kids and me. Don't get me wrong, I'm always a mother first. I don't allow myself to wallow. My kids are still loved, cared for, and played with, and I haven't let my responsibilities around the house slip. Once my dad received his updated prognosis, my husband encouraged me to quit my job. About a month later, we found out I was pregnant again, and I still hadn't let go of my job. I kept holding out for some reason. After we found out about the pregnancy, he assured me it was still okay to quit, saying that it would save us a small fortune in daycare costs anyway. So I did. I quit my job. My best friend and I have been friends since we were in diapers. Her family is like my family, and vice versa. Our moms grew up together, so our bond is strong. Right after my dad's appointment, when we found out he had so little time left, I drove straight to her house, and she held me while I cried for hours. If soulmates exist in friendship form, she was mine. Thick as thieves, as my mom used to say. This morning while I was up with my 3-year-old, he's sick, my husband's work alarm started going off. He has a few alarms set, so I turned off one and gently woke him up. He told me he was up late working, so he decided to take the morning off and rolled back over to sleep. As I went to turn off his remaining alarms, I saw a text from my friend on his lock screen that said, "I'm assuming since there hasn't been an angry pregnant lady on my doorstep. You haven't told her about us yet?" Time froze in that moment. I took his phone and walked away, reading through their conversations. For 4 months, this man has been cheating on me with my best friend. For 4 months, these people have been lying to my face. I know what you're thinking, I should have seen the warning signs. But I've been clutching this phone for 2 hours and there were no signs. He's been so loving and attentive to me, just like he's always been, kind and gentle. There haven't been any late-night work sessions except for once in a blue moon, and there were no lingering touches or glances between them. They've acted the same as they always have since the day I first introduced them. It's sickening that she calls him her brother while she's secretly involved with him. I know many people get moments of clarity in situations like this, but I have none. Aside from the grief over my dad, I haven't changed. I'm still a loving wife and mother. I still doted on him and our children. I talk to him every day about how he's doing and how his day went. I haven't allowed myself to be overwhelmed. I know what I have to do now, but I just don't want to face it. I'm about to lose my family and my support system all at once. I'll confront him tomorrow. Today, I just need these last 24 hours of peace. As for her, I won't give her the satisfaction of a response. I don't care why she did it. She did it, and it's done. I was always the friend who cleaned up her messes, but after today, I'll cut her out of my life like she never mattered. This might be the hardest storm I'll ever face, but I know I'll get through it. If not for me, then for my children. Update, I spent the morning gathering everything I could and making a checklist. I told my husband I was preparing things for my dad, which wasn't entirely a lie. I did have to get hospice sorted out for him today. My boss would be happy to have me back, but my lawyer advised me to hold off for now. My former boss said that whenever I'm ready, the door is open and to just give her a call. He doesn't have access to my inheritance from either my father or my mother. My lawyer made sure of that. I didn't mention her in the original post, but my mother-in-law is an absolute angel. I love and adore her so much. She's always been a shoulder to lean on. After my husband went to work this afternoon, I asked my now ex-best friend's mom and my mill to meet me at my dad's house. My kids were outside playing with my ex-BFF's older brother. I handed them the screenshots, sparing them the unsavory pictures and sex tape, though I did let them know it existed. To say they were furious is an understatement. They're fully on my side. Angie, my ex-best friend's mom, is ready to cut off contact with her daughter entirely. She kept repeating how sorry she was, and we hugged and cried together. My mill told me she couldn't believe she raised someone so spineless and horrible. She reassured me that no matter what happens, I'll always have her support. As far as she's concerned, she doesn't have a son, only a daughter. After an in-person meeting with my lawyer, we went over finances, logistics, and everything else you could think of. She has all the proof and is determined to protect me. With this story now on TikTok, I didn't want my husband to find out through an app, because one look at the story and he'd know it was about him. With permission from my lawyer, my ex-BFF, her parents, my soon-to-be ex-husband, And his parents will be having a sit-down tomorrow where they'll be shown everything. While that happens, my dad, my kids, and my ex-BFF's brother, he's coming to help me juggle the kids and my dad, as being big and pregnant doesn't help with mobility, we'll be at my dad's cabin a few hours away. Enjoying some time and space. I know many people were hoping for some sort of revenge or psychological warfare, but honestly, after my kids went to bed, I took a shower and just broke down. I don't have the strength or energy for retaliation. I just want out. Pretending that everything was okay today was exhausting, and I don't want to keep doing it. I'll update on the aftermath once he finds out tomorrow, as I'm sure it will be significant. For now, I just want to express my deepest thanks for the kindness, warmth, and support you've all shown me. Your words have truly given me the strength to keep my head above water. I appreciate every single one of you for everything. Update 2. My dad passed away about a week after my last update. Even though I knew it was coming, it still feels like a gut punch. Thank you to everyone who kept him in your thoughts, truly. My marriage is officially over. Once Tyler, I think that's the fake name I used for him, apologies if it's not. It's been a while, realized how serious I was about leaving, he became compliant, and gave me everything I asked for in the divorce. My lawyer opted for a dissolution instead of a divorce, which made the process quicker and smoother. Right now, I have full custody while he works on his anger management and therapy. I'm not sure if I'll ever trust him alone with the kids again, but I'm also in therapy, as are my kids. I'm not making any long-term decisions right now regarding that. He gets supervised visits at a facility with staff and security present at all times, once a week. He also gets video calls with the kids twice a week. The kids are adjusting as well as can be expected. There are days when it seems to affect them more, but given all they've been through, that's understandable. I decided to give the baby my dad's first name, it just felt right. The baby is thriving, despite all the stress I've been under. I'm managing as best as I can. I miss my dad terribly, and I'm still trying to figure out how to exist in a world without him. The grief is still so heavy. I'm also mourning the end of my marriage. I don't regret leaving him, but it still hurts deeply. However, I'm slowly picking up the pieces and building a life without him. My ex-mill, I guess? It still feels strange. And Angie have been incredibly supportive, helping out with the kids or bringing us meals when I don't have the energy. I'm truly fortunate to have them. And finally, for what many of you have been waiting to hear about Jake. Jake is back in California, after the military denied his request to extend his leave. It was wonderful having him here, especially in the first few days after my dad passed. He stepped in and helped so much, and I'll never be able to fully repay his kindness. He's incredibly patient and understanding. That said, nothing romantic has happened between us. He held me a few times when I broke down after the kids went to bed, but that's it. No kissing or anything like that. He does call and text multiple times a day. Right now, I don't have space in my life for romance. I'm dealing with so much grief, and the weight of being a single mom is overwhelming. He hasn't pushed for anything more and told me he's willing to just be my friend until I'm ready, if I ever decide I want more. I wish I could be the type of person who jumps in with both feet, but the betrayal from my ex is still fresh. I worry I'd ruin things before they even start, so I asked Jake to just be friends and give me time to process everything else in my life first. He agreed wholeheartedly. Oh, and Tyler and Jess are not a couple, most of you were right, he left her high and dry. While I don't wish misery on anyone, I can't deny I feel a tiny bit of satisfaction knowing her life unraveled. She's been completely cut off by her family. I know some people found it odd that her parents reacted that way, but if you understood how deep our bond was with that family, it wouldn't seem strange at all. Angie is like a surrogate mom to me. She gave me the safe sex talk, helped me through my first period, listened to me cry about heartbreak, and even held my hand while I delivered my children. When she talks about me, she calls me her daughter. She knew my mom for practically her whole life and was there when I was born. If anything had happened to both of my parents, I would have gone to live with her and her husband. That's what my parents had written in their will.